some kind of certain tactics or strategies that they can apply that can help them?
My heart is with the younger generation, because the truth is that no matter how much you try, you never can really know how they feel. We never can really know what goes on in their heads. If you like wear all the jeans and all the sneakers and try to look as young as possible, you never can tell what goes on in the year of in the head of a 15-year-old or 20-year-old. They belong to a different world, to a different generation. They were born into gadgets. We started organic and analog. So there are things that we will never understand, and there are things they will never really truly understand, because they live in a different world and in a different age, and they live in an instant generation, instant movies, instant TV. Nowadays we need to turn the antenna. Someone needs to be outside, another person needs to be inside to adjust the antenna. That taught us patience, and there were very few options of channels that you could watch. So it means that you could watch something that is boring in anticipation for something that is more interesting coming up later. That is restless. My son wants to get on the smart TV. He has the ability to use the internet at home, and once something is boring in less than 30 seconds, he wants to switch the channel because he has an option on YouTube of over 2 million different things to watch. We had NTA, is it Calabar, Aba, maybe you to watch, and you watch what is on TV. So these are two different worlds: instant viewing, instant streaming, even instant noodles. So you don't need to wait for food for a very long time. It's an instant generation. So there is that restlessness. It's a fine time to be born because it calls for quicker action and quicker results. So we never can tell what goes on there. But what can I tell them? The principles of life remain the same. It's about time. It's about processes. It's about seasons. If you jump one, you will have to repeat that course in a way and manner that you may not like it. It's like getting a child out of normal marital process or out of wedlock, and then you are cruising on. You're going to somehow pay the price for that. Maybe your inability to finish school in university. Somehow, once something is distorted, there is always going to be a price to be paid for it, and somehow you're going to feel a brunt of it. So I advise them to follow the process. I advise them to be patient. And everybody wants to have a PhD at 18. I hear people brag about that. Even parents hurry their children through school. You know, a child is less than 10 and you are hurrying the child to secondary school. Where is the child running to? The child has 70 more years to live. Where are you running to? You are going to finish the secondary school. Is it not 6 years? You're going to go to university for a degree. It's going to be 4 years, maybe 5. Professional courses 6 and 7. You'll still be less than 30. There is still going to be enough time for you to explore the world. There will be enough time for you to have boyfriends and girlfriends. So all the ones that are distracting you while in school, tell them to wait. There will be time as a young man, and you will have the avalanche, you will have the privilege of choosing from a sea of millions, because once you become successful, either as a man or a woman, you have the option of choosing. But as the quality of your life drops, you discover that the options that are available to you also drops in every ramification. Your mates have a PhD, you have only OND. There are jobs you cannot apply for. So you see why education is necessary? I'm not telling you education is going to give you instant money. I'm not saying education will give you jobs immediately after you graduate. Education gives you the advantage. Education changes your worldview. Education helps you with the bragging rights. Education helps your ego. It helps your confidence. Education brings you into the midst of a particular, because like me who goes back to school over and over again, I'm blessed with the abundance of classmates. And there's something almost spiritual and mythical about someone being your classmate. There's an unusual access it gives you to that person for the rest of your life. No matter how highly exalted the office is, if there's a knock on the door, and so they say the person here says he is your classmate. I mean, no matter what, you are going to want to give the person some audience. And even if you don't remember the person, and the person is able to reintroduce himself or herself to you, you are like, that's my classmate. There are old things to gist about. So there are many advantages of education. Education is going to expose you to so many things, even beyond the curriculum. So I advise people to go to school, and especially for those who have problems in the course of going to school, to go back, because I had problems too, and I went back again. and started afresh and still had basic education. We cannot underestimate the power of education. All these that we are enjoying today, this microphone, this seat, this set, technology, these are all functions of education. And you can't jump the gun. You can make all the money today. One day someone will just wake up and say, my friend, keep quiet. You are not a graduate, you are not educated. And at that point, no matter how much money you have, you will know that there is an inadequacy. You will know that you lack the bragging rights.
I want to ask this question because I understand where the way the world is tilting now. It's like we are heading towards a more skills. How do I put this? You know,
yeah, skills-based economy. Yeah,
and it's more like, what can you do? Because even when we talk about education, someone might be like, okay, they will say I'll go now, and then they sort their way through. You understand? Just to have that paper.
No. When I mean education, I mean real education. I mean you knowing. Paul says you study yourself, study to show yourself approved.
Yeah.
What I mean is that you're reading a course in the university, for instance. You don't just read that course. You know that course. You internalize that course. You can defend that course. You can stand up for that course at every point in time in that discipline. And beyond what you are reading, you also have extra knowledge, relevant knowledge. For instance, I don't expect any young person not to have knowledge of Microsoft or is it 365, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and the rest of it in this modern world. Maybe in the school you attended, it's not likely to be taught, but you're supposed to learn that on your own. You're supposed to learn basic computing skills. You're supposed to learn basic stuff. You're supposed to learn financial management. You're supposed to learn, how to start things. You're supposed to learn public speaking. These are courses that may not be taught in school, but when you graduate, you are going to be expected to talk at business meetings, at events, at seminars, at conferences. And so those are things that you need to learn on your own. So both formal and self-education are extremely important. But I'm not one who will subscribe that you completely abandon formal education and go for self-education. Both are needed. And then you need to prove that education by certifications.
Yeah.
Because everybody is not inside your head to know how much you know. So for us to be able to assess you, or anybody to assess you, you must show the papers. That's what Paul talked about, showing yourself approved.
Yeah.
So you tell me you have medical knowledge. You are able to bring out a hernia from somebody's stomach. What's the proof? You must show me that you graduated, from a university.
I know there's also some people that would argue that you get if you were there's some people whose heads do not understand.
No, that's why there was there's an advocacy for vocational skills.
Okay.
And in many economies, those kind of people earn more. Oh, you don't know what plumbers earn in UK or the United States. They earn quite so big. You don't know what even truck drivers earn. They earn well. So education for me is about your ability to do something. It's just that we have a laid-back curriculum that does not relate what is taught in the class and what is in the public space. So you are supposed to know that in the real sense. So you are going to learn plumbing, you learn it well. You're going to learn auto mechanics, you learn it well. As a lady, you want to learn how to tie gele or how to do puff-puff or how to mix drinks. Whatever you intend to learn, and it's a skill and it's going to solve a problem in the society, learn it well. But you see, the icing on the cake is when you have something to show, because that's how caterers are called. And this one says, I've been cooking. This one says, I've been cooking. And the other one says, I'm a caterer, graduated at the Dubai School of Catering. Man, the mass is ended, like we say. Who is likely to be picked? The one who has added something, pepped something on her CV, on her profile. Well, all of you can cook. But this one said, she has that catering school in faraway Dubai. Say, look, we've certified that you can actually cook. And that could make the difference. I'm just giving that as an instance of how to improve yourself. So what all that calls for is proactiveness, self-development.
All right, just before we wrap it up, I'd like you to touch on the issue of self-reliance. These days, some people are into civil service, like you said earlier on, and all that. But then, even the minimum wage, the new minimum wage, is not enough to wage
or the take-home pay. Does not really take you home.
And most times they have to rely on loans to be able to sort themselves out. Now, what happens to the rest of us that are not, employed by the government? How do we now run around and get to pay our bills and stuff like that? So, this issue of self-reliance, how can we cope? How can we make it work for us?
Of course, I'm not. I resigned from government as an aide to the governor, which is,
well, at least you have a
by all means, a very juicy position.
Yes.
But it's about your mindset. It's about what you intend to do with your life and how much you want to make life better. That gives you the boldness. I've had people who are very angry with me. People are like, how dare you walk out of that kind of a juicy position? And my answer to them is, I walked out. Please, can you go and take my place and walk in? You see, you must know your own peculiar situation in life, and it's a function of what you want your life to actually be. For civil servants, I've met quite many sessions with them. My advice is that you have to create many channels of income. You have to create many sources of income. Violate your work policy, but can still get finances over to you after work finishes from 4. Is there nothing else in the world you can do after 4 o'clock? Is there nothing that you can do while you are still at work without violating what's going on there? There are more than many things that you can put in motion with the skills that you have, with the knowledge that you have, with the savings that you have from your salary and other earnings that can create that extra line of income for you, because it's going to help you. It's going to help you balance things out. And you ask yourself, am I really going to enjoy life after I've had 35 years of service? I mean, after 35 years, you are beginning to get into the evening side of your life, and you are going to be winding things down. It's not going to be the same energy and strength and vigor that you are going to have. So while you're still having all of that, it's the best time for you to run around and put several things on ground. For instance, you have enough money, you get a land, you build a house and get tenants in there. That's investment. There's so many ways for you to invest that will continue to give you running money, that will continue to create extra strands of income for you, that will make you comfortable, knowing full well that that salary cannot give you the quality of life that you actually deserve. Okay, when you take a leave, where do you travel to? There should be some provision for that. Your salary may not be able to provide for that. I mean, you should be able to live a good life. You can go to Lagos, you can go to Abuja, you can go to Ghana, you can visit anywhere, you can even go back to the village and enjoy. You should be able to rest and relax and take this life easy, and not plan to do that after retirement. And if you add 30 to 35, you already be 65 then, or probably 70. So what it is that the time you want to now drive your best car? I hear people say, oh no, I bought a new car, let me not drive it to work, let me keep it until I'm retired. So how long is that car going to wait? And the only way you can live that kind of life is to create those extra lines of income. And it's a topic on its own, but we've always tried to give wisdom in that direction.
Those of us that are not civil servants, what do you have for us?
You have the luxury of time, and your greatest asset is your time. Even if you're in paid employment, you try to create your time. You try to ensure what you have is that you don't have regulations. For instance, in the civil service, there are regulations you shouldn't do business or stuff. So if you are on your own or in private, there's nothing stopping you. So you should be able to create. It's about sitting up, looking at your life critically and say, where do I take it up from here? Making an honest assessment of your current situation in life, knowing that where you are is a function of the decisions you took in the past. So if you want your life to improve, you have to take critical and good decisions. And that's what I do at every junction of my life. I don't look at what others are looking at. Once I get to a critical junction, I ask myself, which direction should I go? And I take that direction. And even if others don't see the picture, give it 1 year, give it 2 years, give it 5 years. There'll be the same people who say, man, I didn't know that is what you were looking at when you did that.
Yes, suppose. Now, on that note, in the next 10 years, what do we expect to see on the Ekeme Fimba?
The truth is that nobody really sees the future so clearly. we have glimpses, we have sketches. The future is like a fog, it's like Hamatan. The more you go into it, the more it gets clearer. But I see a more impactful person. I see a very richer person. I see a very wealthy person. I see a person of value. I see a person who has impacted so many people, running into thousands and millions directly, who are doing well in diverse places, because I feel that to gain value, we live to give value. So I intend to give as much value in the world, and the value is also going to come back to me. As I keep sowing, I keep reaping. As I keep sowing, I keep reaping. And I'll live a more fulfilled, purposeful, and impactful life by giving to receive.
Yeah, but just before you go, in case someone wants to reach out to you, any social media?
I'm everywhere. My accounts are verified on at least Facebook and Instagram. And I was just a click away. It's not in those days you need to write to the post office box or the private mailbag that you can reach out to people. It's a function of keeping it decent and trying it as much as possible not to abuse assets. You know, someone just tells you hello, hi, good morning, sir, and you reply, and the next thing all their family problems descend. It does not help for good and smooth communication. You can still get value from our interaction and go and solve your problems. But as much as possible, I try to advise people, and it's not a personal thing. Keep your problems to your pocket first and try to gain from that relationship through exchange of value. From there, you can get whatever you need to go and solve your problems. And when that connection has become strong enough, you can gradually allow, and maybe by that time, you may not even have need to tell the person about your problems. Always don't abuse assets. There are people, even if I want to, staff, I will not abuse that relationship by asking them for anything, because I need that door to be constantly open for me. These are the kind of things you hear only on a program like this.
All the time, Mr. Nekeme Fimba, I truly appreciate you coming down. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and to the entire Memories FM, Memories TV and FM team. Of course, I appreciate you, and I thank you for the good work you are doing. Julie, continue to keep it up. The future is much brighter.
Thank you. All right, viewer, that's about the size of the package. All right, that's about the size of the package, and I trust you had a wonderful, insightful moment into that expose right there. We had our guest in the building, Mr. Nekeme Fimba. He is a peak performance strategist, a public speaker, and of course a brand consultant, and the MD. Yes, Fimba Consult Limited here in New. And I believe you had a wonderful time, a rewarding time. If you're a young person listening to us today and watching us live, I want you to know this, that you must not tire. Dream big, dare it, and you will definitely get there. You will definitely achieve. Don't look at that it's not working here. Don't look at what people are saying. Don't listen to what people are saying. Don't try to look at the way things are. I hear people say, greener pastures, greener pastures. I personally believe that the way you are can be green if you water it. So it's just about watering where you are standing, and before you know it, the grass will be green for you. You don't have to jump. You don't have to jump. Okay? Okay, until next edition, I remain your host, Juliana Eva. Remember, you can reach us on our social media pages, Memories 96.5 FM, and of course, Memories Online TV. Yes, one-on-one will make a comeback next time. Do take good care of yourself. Bye-bye now.